She began as a promising teenager, known locally for her dominance in California gyms, and has steadily grown into a national figure in women's basketball, balancing her Nigerian heritage, her Stanford education, and her growing influence in the sport. To understand Kiki is to understand that greatness is never just about the end point. It is about the becoming. Kiki's earliest years were marked by the same blend of discipline and cultural pride that has shaped so many Nigerian-American families. Her parents carried with them the lessons of Nigeria: hard work, humility, family first. In their home, success was not measured only by what you achieved, but by how you carried yourself while pursuing it. That grounding gave Kiki both confidence and purpose. She didn't just want to play basketball. She wanted to do it in a way that reflected her upbringing, her values, and her heritage. Her time at Harvard Westlake High School was where her transformation first began to take shape. On the court, she was unstoppable, one of the most dominant prep players in the nation. Coaches marveled at her versatility. She could bang inside with the posts, run the floor like a guard, and hit shots from mid-range. Her name began appearing on national lists, and soon she was one of the top recruits in the country. But off the court, she remained grounded. Those who knew her well always pointed to her humility. She was never one to brag, never one to put herself above others. Even as she received national attention, she carried herself with quiet confidence, never losing sight of the bigger picture. Choosing Stanford was both a natural fit and a bold move. Natural, because Stanford's tradition of excellence matched her ambitions. Bold, because she knew that walking into a roster loaded with talent would mean she might not play right away. It was a choice not about immediate stardom, but about long-term growth. That decision reflected a maturity far beyond her years, and it set the stage for the next phase of her transformation. At Stanford, Kiki's journey tested her patience. For 2 years, she waited. She came off the bench, playing behind All-Americans, learning the system, and finding her place. In today's basketball landscape, where players often jump to the transfer portal when things don't go their way, Kiki's loyalty was rare. It wasn't easy. She had been a star her entire life, and now she was adjusting to a smaller role. But instead of seeing it as a setback, she treated it as an apprenticeship. She studied the game. She learned from her teammates. She trusted that her time would come. That patience became the foundation for her breakout. When the moment arrived, when Stanford needed her to step up, Kiki was ready. The transformation was clear for everyone to see. She was no longer the quiet freshman learning from the sidelines. She was now the centerpiece of the team, the leader who carried the cardinal on her shoulders. She didn't just step into the spotlight, she owned it. Her game blossomed in ways that mirrored her growth as a person. She had always been skilled, but now there was a new edge to her play. She played with confidence, with the assurance that comes from years of preparation. She dominated inside with power, but also displayed the finesse of a player who had studied the game deeply. She rebounded with intensity, defended with discipline, and scored with efficiency. Each performance felt like a statement, not just about her ability, but about her journey. But perhaps what stands out most about Kiki is how she leads. Leadership is often misunderstood in sports. It is not just about being the loudest voice, or even about being the best player. It is about presence, about consistency, about how you make others better. Kiki leads by example. She works hard in practice. She stays humble in success. She lifts her teammates in difficult moments. She has grown into the kind of leader who doesn't demand respect, but earns it every single day. This evolution into leadership is part of what makes her story so powerful. Kiki's journey is not the story of instant greatness. It is the story of growth, of waiting, of becoming. That narrative resonates because it reflects life itself. Not everything happens overnight. Sometimes we must endure seasons of patience before our opportunities arrive. Sometimes the lessons we learn in the shadows prepare us for when the lights are brightest. Kiki embodies that truth, and in doing so, she has become a role model far beyond basketball. Her Nigerian heritage is another key part of her story. Kiki often speaks about the pride she feels in her background, and that pride radiates through her journey. She is part of a growing wave of Nigerian-American stars who are changing the face of women's basketball. In her, young girls see not just a talented player, but someone who embraces her culture with pride and authenticity. She reminds us that identity is not something to set aside. It is something to carry with you. to let it shape your journey, to let it fuel your purpose. Her rise also comes at a pivotal moment for women's basketball. The sport is experiencing a surge unlike anything it has seen before: record attendance, historic viewership, and unprecedented cultural relevance. Players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, and Paige Buchers have pushed the game into the spotlight, creating moments that resonate far beyond the court. Within this surge, Kiki's presence is vital. She represents another kind of story, a slower burn, a story of growth, of persistence, of cultural pride. She balances the flash with substance, the highlights with quiet consistency. In doing so, she adds depth to the broader narrative of women's basketball at this historic moment. Looking ahead, the professional stage seems inevitable. The WNBA is not only ready for Kiki, it needs players like her. Her skill set translates perfectly: versatile, strong, and adaptable. But more than that, her mindset, patient, humble, resilient, makes her the kind of player who can thrive in the grind of a long professional career. Whether she plays for Nigeria in international competition or continues her path through American basketball, she will bring with her the lessons of her journey. That greatness is not rushed, that loyalty matters, that identity is strength. And what will her legacy be? Perhaps it will be the numbers she puts up, the points, the rebounds, the championships. Perhaps it will be the highlight reels, the moments of dominance. But more likely, her legacy will be found in the inspiration she gives to others. To the young player struggling for minutes, she is proof that patience pays off. To the Nigerian girl with big dreams, she is proof that identity is a gift. To the teammate wondering how to lead, she is proof that humility and consistency are enough. Kiki Iriafen's story is not just about basketball, it is about transformation. It is about a young woman who began as a star in high school, who became a learner at Stanford, and who has now emerged as a leader ready to take on the world. Her journey reminds us that the process matters, that growth takes time, and that true greatness is about more than just talent. It is about character, resilience, and identity. As her career continues, there will be new chapters, professional milestones, cultural impact, leadership roles. But the heart of her story will always remain the same: a young woman who embraced the slow burn, who stayed true to herself, and who transformed not just into a star, but into a symbol of what it means to grow into your greatness. And so, we celebrate Kiki Iriafen, not just for who she is today, but for everything she represents: patience rewarded, heritage embraced, and transformation achieved. She is proof that the journey matters, that the process is beautiful, and that when your moment arrives, you will be ready, if you have prepared, if you have believed, if you have stayed true. Thank you for walking with us through the journey of Kiki Iriafen. If her story inspired you, let it remind you that growth is a process worth embracing. Like this video if her transformation moved you, share it with others who believe in the power of perseverance, and subscribe so you never miss another story of athletes whose journeys are as meaningful as their victories.